Good morning. Happy birthday, Dad. Happy 80th. Very proud of you for being an incredible example of what it means to go beyond the natural order of 7 and making it to 80 when it's Mashiach's number 8. It's the age of Gvura. When you've attained an accomplishment, you pushed yourself. So, my father, welcome. My father represents an idea that we're going to be talking about, which is the merit that we're going to be redeemed in is in the merit of the forefathers and the mothers, and the connection to the giving of the Torah, which is coming up this weekend at a shul near you. We stood 600,000 to receive the Torah. Why 600,000? Is because there are 6 emotional attributes called Zeranpin. And so the source of the souls of the 600,000 Jews represent the extension of these 6 attributes. They are a product of the Avos and Imahos, the fathers and mothers, which represent wisdom and understanding. So wisdom and understanding, father and mother, give rise to an emotional existence. When you have ideas to meditate on, Bina is Hispainus. So Bina is the mother, because the Hispainus, the mind, gives rise to an emotional response. The 6 attributes are born. So father and mother, in that sense, are turn into the 600,000 Jews. So you have these Avos and Imahos, these progenitors of a race that represents the perfection of character on earth. That was a pretty good summary. Maybe that we should call that a shir. It would work perfectly on TikTok. I can't put my shir in there because they're too long. I mean, God forbid that someone should scroll down away from it. We can't put up their bandwidth. Wow. As if it costs anything. To such a giant. I was gonna just continue learning this with you, but I think I want to just go over something that we might have touched on and work that in a little bit more. So we spoke about how, since we are a product of the birth of what our fathers and mothers, these great human beings that walk the earth, welcome Arlene, the birds make it. I agree. Just listen to the birds. Shlomo Melech spoke to the birds. They had probably a lot to say. What is a bird represented? There's a debate whether the birds refers to the angels that were created on day 2. No, there weren't birds on day 2. The light, somehow I think the angels are connected to 2 different days. The bird day, which is I guess the 6th, or the 2 day, where it has to do with light, I think, if I got that right. So the birds are important, to summarize. So we said that we experience a redemption, a sort of overcoming of all the trials and tribulations, which are many and numerous, as we know if you have any friends, you know what people go through, especially I suppose in times where history has looked better for the world than other times. Could Mashiach possibly come in like a time where you're just wandering in the field? Is that the way it's going to come? Or is it going to be a cataclysmic renewal? I think the former. I don't think it's intended to be that. I think that those are meant to be states that we're supposed to experience through our own personal inward work, as opposed to having it forced on us through basically a chess game, I guess, that Putin's playing with the world just to rearrange the deck. a little bit. That's literally the way leaders think. Those kind of leaders think about the world. He's questioning the order. Why should America and the West be in power? We're also strong. We also have money. We also have weaponry. So let's assert ourselves more. Who said that this child will be outshine the others? Who's going to get the crown? These questions are a struggle. If they're founded on good thinking, as we inherited from our fathers and mothers, then it results in the 6 emotional attributes to be expressed in our very being. So we are the 600,000 source-rooted souls. Everyone stems from those 600,000. I guess I'm nervous because I have to make it to my dad's birthday party, which is rather early for me. So it's actually very hard for me to do this, but I have to do this because it's so important every day to push ourselves. We have to recreate ourselves every day in the learning that we do before we daven. The daven makes it embodied within us. The ideas are what gets embodied. So really participate in that practice. Okay, I'm just going to go continue, and I'm going to take it paragraph by paragraph. It's just a long paragraph. It's a bit daunting when they make a paragraph that's over a page. It's like, where am I going to stop? I don't have more than a bookmark, if that. Oh, this piece of grass I was using last time. It's still here. Preserved miraculously. And of course, this class is in the merit of the refuah that all those who need it. So much suffering in the world. Please, God, give refuah shlema to everybody. Corinne Rosette, Basi Rit, Kiva Gershon, and Rachel Bastia. Refuah shlema to the precious souls. My goodness. Welcome. So when we embody that purpose expressed by the number 600,000, 6 emotional attributes, totally an expression of the wisdom and understanding, the fathers and mothers of our holy religion. That's when we experience redemption, which is basically the giving of the Torah. You take the pnimius of the Torah, tal Torah mechayeyu. The dew of Torah is meant to enliven us. It's meant to be the source of our vitality and our health. So let this be for a bracha for everybody. We'll understand this by the way it exists in a person in the world. How does he experience these 6 emotional attributes and their connection with wisdom and understanding? In order to have an emotional character, it has to be based on ideas. How do you define what's meant to be important to us? That's wisdom. And then you have to expand on that and work out the details. That's understanding. And when these 2 faculties are engaged together, welcome. That is like the furnace in the chamber that heats up the chamber, or the dot within the room that all the light comes from. Nasa haletus hamidas, that's the birth of character, personality, emotional states. Meaning that the idea that underlies love is expressed by actual love and benevolence of the heart. And from reverence, you attain might and fear in the heart. As Tanya explains. So you have two main forces, love and fear, producing different states in us. I guess one way of looking at Gvura is defining what's precious. That's a Gvura. Sarah was very representative in that. Look how she cast out Hagar. It's a hard narrative for today's snowflakes. I'm the biggest snowflake, so I don't think I'm being insulting to anyone. Sometimes snowflakes, when they're at the right throttle, they have an impact. Right? You just got to be directed the right way, and it becomes the blizzard. Snowflake, just I suppose it means you're sensitive and you care, right? Because you're always changing with the temperature. So we say, and this is, remember, the transformed, it ends up being a blessing coming from the evil prophet. He looked in the tents, and what does he see? He tried to bring judgment, and there was authenticity through and through, and everything that looked fearful became a source of blessing. That is the recognition, the identity of these 600,000. They came from Avos and Imahos, these great embodiments of divine personalities. So Bilam's praising this from the heads of mountains. I see him talking about Mashiach as the ultimate expression of this, and Migbois Ashuranu, and from the hilltops I behold him. That's referring to the Imahos, as Zahar says, the mothers. She'aid Kedem Sh'Yisrael B'chinas Zerampim Hem V'Mitzias. That these forefathers and mothers predated us, indicating that they are meant to be an origin that prior to them experiencing the yichud that they ended up, as they entered the world, it represents this yichud of these two forces, the unity of wisdom and understanding, and resulting in the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai to the 600,000 Jews, the 6 emotional attributes that they represent. Hem b'metzias. Yesh kvar metziusam kifi shehem nechlalim b'chinas tzurim u'migbois chachma u'bina. So they exist as these independent mountains and hilltops, wisdom and understanding. V'hainu shemizeh gufa shem nekudas ha'askalati is safe kol safe haladas amidas. The very fact that from this mind comes the emotions, the very fact that it results in emotion, sharei al yidei hispainus ha'makas v'hamaka v'nekudas ha'askala, because through meditation and delving into the meaning behind the ideas, as it's expressed in all of its minutiae and understanding every detail of something, that gives rise to character. Character implements all these ideas in every single moment that we're skipping about the world. Avav Yirav Anpehem, which is the emotional experience of love, fear, and all of their superficial expressions, like perseverance, like submission. This proves, since it results in emotion, that proves that those emotions were already existing in that seminal idea. So the mind, the Avos and Imahos, the mind, the origin of emotion, which is regular people, great people nevertheless, 600,000 that we're all represented by. And the giving of the Torah marks this connection and this realization that it's all about bringing the ideas into the world of emotion. Nevertheless, the world of emotion exists in that very firecracker of ideas of mind. It's just that those emotions were not expressed there. It's not their frequency. They are there nevertheless, because that they actually originate from there. And that is suggested, this incredible veil, this concealment of how emotion does exist in the mind, the coldest of all things we've said. Emotion exists there too. It's just in a state of potential, just like a flintstone, a tzur, mereish tzurim, from the head of mountaintops. Here the word tzurim means like the flintstone gives rise to fire. So the rock, it means strength and it means foundation, but it also means the origin of fire. So, and also, in particular, the concealment of that origin. So we're saying the flintstone contains the fire in it, and the avos, the mind, contains the character in it, in a state of concealment likened to the power of fire from a flintstone. So the difference between a flintstone and a coal, a burning coal, that even though the burning coal has its fire often concealed within it, like when you do the marshmallows, and in order, you have to get that thing to bring out the, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. That, you blow on it and out comes the fire. So here you have a model of fire existing within you, but it's like a coal that can be brought out. The fire just by blowing on it, just by engaging with it. That's not the type of concealment that the mind represents in the way it's called mereish tzurim, from the head of mountaintops, of tzurim, of like the flintstone. So the burning coals can be brought out easily just by engaging them. You just bring spirit, ruach, to them, and voila. But the flintstone, to do that, that's a deeper concealment. Sometimes even the slightest breeze can bring out the fire. Furthermore, the fact that the flame is contained and concealed within the embers, before you stir it with the breeze, they still have heat. The flintstone is cold, the mind is cold, but you have to recognize that it is the source. You could take the flintstone and put it in water even, and it still does its job once you brush it off. And you don't feel any heat in your hand from the actual rock. So it represents total concealment of that. I'm not sure what the point of this is. Like, I think he's saying that Bilam is predicting a time that there will be this unity, the yichud avah that gives rise, that the wisdom and understanding that gives rise to emotion will result in the complete manifestation of that, so that we're completely resembling. We said that Mashiach will be in virtue of our forefathers once we totally embody the mind that they represent and have a nation with character that reflects that. Then that is a redemptive moment. Have a great day.